a couple of months ago, I went to a meeting with my friends. I wouldn't call it a party because we were just playing board games like the losers that we are. However, there was one thing that caught my attention. One of my friends, let's call them Greg, was constantly on their phone. And while we were socializing, they were looking at content concerning their favorite celebrity. This situation, along with some internet drama, where a once beloved celebrity turns out to be a horrible person and everyone feels betrayed and devastated, made me think of parasocial relationships. Parasocial relationships are one-sided relationships, where one person is emotionally engaged, dedicates their time and energy, while the other doesn't know that they exist. This type of relationship can happen both in case of celebrities, influencers, and all sorts of public personas, but also fictional characters. However, I would like to focus on parasocial relationships concerning real people. Although parasocial relationships are nothing new, they have existed for a long time, pretty much since mass media are a part of our daily lives. Now it is easier than ever to form this type of relationship and to deepen it. In the age of social media, we have an almost unlimited access to the content that celebrities and influencers post. Celebrities share personal information, stories, and sometimes even confide in their followers, creating an illusion of a personal and private connection. Followers are also able to interact with their favorite celebrities through, for example, live streams. Thanks to social media, we are able to message, let's say, Adele or Olivia Rodrigo, and there is a possibility that they will respond to it during their Instagram live or Instagram story questions, further deepening the delusion of a relationship with a fan. Do not get me wrong, parasocial relationships are completely normal and common. They can be beneficial, both for the celebrity, who by having dedicated fans is successful, as they can sell tickets to events, merch, get brand deals, but also for us, especially if we are young and still discovering ourselves and the world. Parasocial relationships can, for instance, help with forming an identity, help people with low self-esteem become more confident, decrease loneliness, help be a part of a community, and help persist through tough times. This aspect of creating a community is especially important because for many teenagers, school is not fun. It is the place where they often feel alienated. Some kids and teenagers get bullied because they are different, and this parasocial relationship can help them feel like they belong. They're not alone, there are people like them, and sometimes the celebrity can be an inspiration. If the celebrity has a similar story, they can give their fans the strength to persist. And fans can also unite and develop relationships with people with similar interests within the fan group. What I'm trying to say is that parasocial relationships are not inherently bad, but they can get bad. In 1989, at the age of 21, a young rising actress, Rebecca Schaeffer, got fatally shot by an obsessive fan who had previously stalked her and found her address with the help of a private detective. Another case when a parasocial relationship got out of control concerns Selena Quintanilla Perez, a Mexican-American singer and a Grammy winner, who in 1995 got fatally shot by an obsessive fan, who was the leader of her fan club. Björk, an Icelandic musician, also fell victim to behavior that stemmed from a parasocial relationship. In 1996, Björk was targeted by a stalker fan who had previously developed an intense fixation on her, and after failed attempts to contact her, sent her a letter bomb, rigged it with sulfuric acid. Fortunately, the package was intercepted before it reached Björk. A more recent example, connected to social media, concerns a Twitch streamer, who, for anyone who doesn't know, is a person who live broadcasts video content on Twitch, called Pokimane. Pokimane talked about her experience with stalkers when one of her fans, who was in love with her, found her address, was looking for her, and even met and asked her roommate where she was. I think that these cases illustrate well how dangerous a parasocial relationship can become. In 2002, Lynn E. McCutcheon, Rance Lange, and James Heron conceptualized celebrity worship. They identified 3 different levels of celebrity worship. And it is worth noting that some people are not even classified as celebrity worshippers. The most light level of celebrity worship is called entertainment social. Participants that fall under this category are entertained by the celebrity, appreciate them, talk about them with others, and engage in some social activities like fan clubs, etc. Intense personal is the next level of celebrity worship that is obsessive with compulsive elements. Participants that fall under this category believe that they are in a personal relationship with the celebrity. Borderline pathological level is the most severe stage of celebrity worship, where the individual displays pathological attitudes, is unable to control themselves, and would do anything for the celebrity. They display extreme levels of empathy with the celebrity's failures and successes, identify with the celebrity, have an obsession with the life of the celebrity, fantasies, compulsions, and delusions. It is worth noting that the most severe stage of celebrity worship can be identified in only 3 to 5% of study participants. Nevertheless, we do not want to be a part of that statistic and should do everything we can to avoid it. An intense parasocial relationship was found to have negative, extremely negative effects on the person who has developed it. An obsession with a celebrity was found to have a positive correlation with tendencies towards addiction, compulsive buying, depression, and anxiety. It can cause impulsivity, difficulties with forming relationships, thus causing isolation, compulsions, and delusions, which I don't think anyone would like to experience. The responsibility of keeping parasocial relationships healthy lies both in the hands of the celebrities and fans. Nevertheless, some celebrities and agencies do not set boundaries when it comes to relationships with the fans, or even encourage parasocial relationships, even though, as I illustrated before, they can also harm the celebrity. They can also harm the celebrity. We can call out this kind of behavior, but we cannot control others. So we should take some cautionary action in order to ensure that the relationship we have is actually beneficial and is not causing any harm. The most important skill, in my opinion, is the ability to self-reflect. The first step to having a happy life is to understand how, in this case a parasocial relationship, impacts us, if it does not make us miserable or limit us. We should also think critically and avoid idolizing a person we do not know. It is kind of a cliché, but having hobbies also helps, as then we are not dependent on a public persona and know other ways to spend our free time and to enjoy it. If we see any signs that point to us developing a more severe level of a parasocial relationship, we should limit our engagement with the celebrity to minimize the risk of the relationship deepening and harming us. I also know, and the most important, please do not prioritize parasocial relationships. Having a real connection with another person is more important than anything else. I know that it is sometimes difficult to find someone who can be our true friend, but it is worth it. We should not prioritize a parasocial relationship over the ones with our real-life friends and family. I also know that it is easier said than done, but when it comes to a point when a parasocial relationship is the most important aspect of your life, please seek help. If you see that you are negatively affected by the relationship, you should speak with someone you trust or seek direct help from a professional like a therapist. So yes, parasocial relationships are completely normal and common. They can be beneficial for us and can help with forming an identity and a community. Nevertheless, please do not prioritize them, and do not let parasocial relationships take over your life. Thank you.